Hey everyone, today we are diving into a fundraising playbook that is, frankly, a total game changer. We're going to talk about how to get off that hamster wheel of constantly looking for new donors and instead build real, sustainable partnerships that last. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's start with just one number, but it's a big one, 86%. That's the percentage of new donors who never, ever give a second gift. Just let that sink in. For every 10 people you bring in the door, almost 9 of them walk right back out. It's like trying to fill a bucket that's just riddled with holes.
You know, that's such a frustrating reality for so many amazing organizations. It really forces you to stop and ask a pretty important question. What if there's a better way to do this? A way that isn't so exhausting and, honestly, more effective? Well, that 86% problem, it has a name. We call it the transactional treadmill. And you know exactly what this feels like, right? It's that endless cycle. Ask, get the money, say thank you, and then almost immediately ask again. It's no wonder our donors start to feel less like partners in a mission and more like, well, ATMs. And this right here really shows the difference. Look at the old way. It kicks off with the ask. It's all about the money first. But the new way, the relationship first way, it completely flips the script. It actually starts with listening and connecting. The financial ask gets moved all the way to the end, where it feels like a totally natural outcome of a real partnership. So yeah, that new way is what we're talking about today. It's this incredibly powerful but also super practical alternative. It's called relationship-first fundraising. So what do we actually mean by that? Simple. It's a model where you make it your #1 priority to build a genuine human connection with the donor, one that's based on values you both share, and you do all of this before you even think about asking for money. And this is so important. The relationship isn't just a tactic to get the gift. The relationship is the goal. The financial support, that just becomes the natural, wonderful result of that bond. Okay, but does this, softer approach actually pay off? Oh yeah, the data is just crystal clear. With that old transactional model, you're lucky to keep 14% of your donors. But look what happens when you shift to a relationship-first model. That number can jump all the way up to 60%. You're not just plugging holes in that leaky bucket anymore, you're basically building a whole new reservoir of support. And it gets even better because the impact goes way beyond just keeping donors around. The financial results are kind of mind-blowing. The lifetime value of a donor can jump by 5, even 10 times. The average gift size often triples, maybe even quadruples. And the referral rate, donors telling their friends about you, it goes from basically nothing to a huge driver for growth.
Okay, so the why is pretty compelling, right? The results speak for themselves. But the big question is how? How do you actually do this? Let's get down to brass tacks and look at the 12-month relationship plan.
Think of it as a year-long journey. For the first 3 months, it's all discovery. You listen way more than you talk, no pitching. Then you shift into engagement, inviting them to see the impact of the work up close. By months 7 to 9, you're taking it deeper, asking for their advice, their strategic thoughts, and only then, after all that foundational work is done, do you make the ask. By that point, it doesn't feel like an ask at all. It feels like the most obvious next step in your partnership.
So what are you actually doing all this time? Well, it breaks down into a few key things. You're having real, one-on-one listening conversations to find out what they want to change in the world. You're sharing personal, real stories about your impact, not just sending out glossy brochures. You're hosting small, intimate dinners for actual discussion, not giant galas for a sales pitch. You're treating them like a brilliant strategic partner from day one.
Now, this all probably sounds great, but I bet some of you are thinking, wow, this sounds like a massive change for us. And you're right, it can be. But don't worry. The secret is to not try and do everything all at once. Let's talk about how to make this shift feel totally manageable. You've got to do this in phases. Start small, really small. In year 1, just focus on your top 25 donors. Get good at the process, nail it. Then in year 2, you can expand that to your top 100. By year 3, you'll have the experience and the confidence to build systems that bring this relationship-first approach to your entire donor base, maybe with different tiers of engagement. But as you start this journey, you have to watch out for a few common traps. The first one is the most dangerous, and it's the fake relationship. This is where you're going through all the motions, but deep down, it's just a really long sales pitch. Trust me, donors can smell this a mile away, and when that surprise ask finally drops, they don't feel inspired, they feel used. The second pitfall is a little different. It's building a great friendship that has nothing to do with your mission. You might have wonderful chats, you might really like each other, but if the donor isn't constantly seeing how your organization is actually creating change, then that philanthropic spark just fizzles out. The relationship has to be rooted in the work.
And finally, there's the third trap, which is the complete opposite problem. It's all relationship and no ask. You build this amazing, genuine connection, and then you get scared to ask for support. This just leaves your most passionate donors feeling confused. They want to help. Remember, a thoughtful, well-timed ask is what turns a friend into a true partner in your mission. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this. When you take the time to build real, authentic relationships, you don't just get checks. You get partners who are stickier. They stay with you for the long haul. They give larger gifts. And they become your fiercest, most passionate advocates out in the world.
So I want to leave you with one simple question to think about. Go look at the last 5 times you reached out to one of your key donors. How many of those were asks, and how many were just genuine attempts to connect and build that relationship? Your answer is going to tell you everything you need to know about where you are in this journey and where you need to go next.